This past week we've been talking a lot, past few weeks we've been talking a lot about the idea of negativity bias and the idea of negative rumination and just how exhausting all of that can be. And as leaders, when we find ourselves in that state, not a great place to be when we have to go out and lead others. And so the question is, what's the antidote to that? What can we do as good leaders? Well, one of the things that we talk about in our coaching process at Built to Lead, and one of the 12 essentials that we have, is the 20, 40, 60. I call it the recipe, if you will, the antidote to the idea of negative rumination and letting our minds really take off with the idea of negative thoughts. So the antidote to that is building this habit into your daily lives. 20 minutes of spiritual reflection, 40 minutes of good reading and writing, and 60 minutes of exercise. And as I walk up here in this park, I try to make it a daily routine. It's energizing. It helps build a strong emotional bank account for me, as well as that cognitive bank account, because gosh only knows we make a lot of withdrawals every day in terms of negative rumination. Why is it that we remember something 5 years ago where maybe somebody humiliated us or said some unkind things about us, and yet it can be so fresh in our minds, as opposed to the positive accolades maybe that we received? And we've talked about it over and over again. It's just the way that we are wired. So what can we do as good leaders to be able to, build our minds up in terms of resiliency and fortitude? And trust me, when you take the time every day to sit down for just 20 minutes of reflection, I call it spiritual reflection, re-energizing the soul. It's, for me, I've got a little something that I read every day spiritually, counting the blessings that I have, giving gratitude for the good family that I have, my kids, 41-year marriage that I have, and just being able to walk in this park every day. And the idea of reading for 40 minutes a day, and good reading, biographies, history, it expands the mind, creates a lot of good perspective, and God only knows we need perspective right now, more than ever, leaving politics out of it. We need to listen more to each other, and when we create that kind of perspective, it creates a lot of opportunities and possibilities. And then the idea of 60 minutes of good exercise. And yes, does it take a lot to do this? It does. But think about the good habits and the idea of building that cognitive bank account, and the idea of building strong, positive, emotional bank accounts, because you are going to be up against adversity every day. You know that that negativity is going to be invading your life. It's going to happen. And we need strong, resilient well-being. So, another resource that you may want to take a look at is my partner Chet wrote a wonderful blog yesterday, January 19th, and it's about this coaching process that we use, helping people to build these habits into their lives, 20, 40, 60. And then he even offers the challenge as leaders, and this is the good one, as leaders, if we're going to go out there and do that kind of work, we want to take a hard look at what we're going to need to do to even build more of those good, positive, cognitive bank accounts and emotional bank accounts. Maybe a little more reading, a little more exercise. So leave you with that thought, leave you with that challenge. Hope you've had a terrific week. This is Pete Kunk, Built to Lead. See you next week.